Hello, all you beautiful, fabulous females out there. This is Louise Vanel coming to you from mmtv in Melrose. And my guest today is Jen Grigoraitis, our wonderful mayor. And she has a lot of wonderful things to tell you, I'm sure.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, because top on my list is always the streets and the cracks and the uneven, particularly behind the back.
Yep.
Okay. But I think I saw in this week's paper that there's some grant money coming in for roads. Am I mistaken? Or?
Yep. I think you're talking about money. It's called Chapter 90, which is the section of state law. It's referencing that is money that's distributed by the legislature and then approved by the governor every year to municipalities throughout the Commonwealth for fixes to roads and sidewalks. So yes, Melrose is going to be getting some money from that, which we're really thrilled about. It's actually the bulk of the money that we use to do our road and sidewalk repairs. We typically do, about $1 million worth of repairs a year. We'd obviously like to be doing a lot more. I think you and I had talked that
it's my pet peeve.
I know. Everyone's pet peeve, and we get it. We want people on sidewalks, and we need them to be safe, but they're really expensive to do, and we have such a, we have older infrastructure. We have an older tree canopy, which can create a lot of problems. So yeah, we're always looking to do more. But yeah, we will be seeing that funding this year, which will be great.
Okay, beautiful. Did you get enough money to cover it? Or?
There's never enough money, but it will, every little bit helps. And again, that's the bulk of the money because we actually, because of our budget challenges this year, reduced in our city budget the funding for road and sidewalk repairs. So the money from the state is all that much more important.
Mm-hmm. And it's dedicated.
It's only for road and sidewalk repairs. Correct.
Okay, great. And my other concern, since I had a grandson who graduated from Melrose school system, what will be happening with the school? There have been some teacher layoffs and things, haven't there?
There have been. So unfortunately, we have not been able to keep up with rising costs across the city and schools. The schools have been particularly hard hit. So we did some layoffs last school year, so the year that just included in June, we were down 11 educators. And then this school year that starts next week, we are down over 30 staff across the district, including not having a middle school principal. We've combined the middle school and high school to be under the leadership of one principal and assistant principals, and we are definitely going to have higher class sizes throughout the district as a result of fewer teachers. So yeah, we wish it were different.
Mm-hmm. And how about things like, I know the ones that usually get hit, like music department, art, that kind of thing. Are they going okay?
So I think we have a wonderful visual and performing arts throughout K through 12, our athletic programs. We're proud of those. So many students access them. What we've done is we increasingly are relying on families to help carry those costs. So part of what we did to reduce some of the budget cuts we made was increase the fees that we charge to families. So if your student is a high school athlete, which I have in my family, what we charge you to play those sports for the high school has gone up. We've increased the fees to be a member of the band, to be I think for the first time ever, we've added fees for students who want to participate in middle school drama, which is a fantastic program. We put on these incredible productions that have, over 100 kids in it, but we can't afford to do that without directly tapping into the families that use those things. So we're becoming more and more fee-based, which can start to feel a little transactional. You want to do X and we're going to charge you Y, and that's sort of where we are right now as a community.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like myself when I had 3 girls in high school at the same time. Woo! And I was a single mother at that point, and it was really tough.
That sounds like a lot, yeah.
Is there any kind of fund or anything set aside for people who can't afford the fees?
Absolutely. That's a great question. There are, we make sure that, finances are not a barrier to participation. So the schools do provide fee waivers for families that need it, and they can reach out to their building principal if that's something that they need assistance with. We don't ever want to have someone not participate because they're worried about cost. And then just for residents in general, and I know you and I had talked about this last week, we have the Melrose Emergency Fund, which is funded entirely through donations from residents. It's managed out of our senior center. It's for any Melrose resident, doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've lived here, whether you rent or own, but that's available if your family's experiencing a financial emergency, that you can ask for one-time financial assistance. If maybe you're in between jobs and so you're short a paycheck and you can't make your utility payment, that's the kind of thing that you can come to the fund for. So I always want folks to know that that's available for a true emergency should they need it. And people have been very generous to that fund. And so we're typically able to do about $30,000 worth of assistance a year, which makes a real impact in this community.
Good.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And I've been talking to different people about Prop 2.5, because one day I'm for it and the next day I'm against it, and I have good reasons on both sides. So can you talk a little bit to that issue?
Sure. So Prop 2.5 is the state law that went into effect, I think it's been about 40 years ago, that limits municipalities, so any city or town cannot raise property taxes by more than 2.5% a year. And the only way we can change that is to override the law through a ballot question. And so those are often referred to as override votes, because you were literally overriding the limit on property taxes. It's been used really successfully by a lot of communities, and I think those are often some of the communities people talk about when they talk about really strong school systems or beautiful parks and green spaces, or places that have frequently or regularly overridden the Prop 2.5. Melrose has only done it twice since the law went into effect about 40 years ago. Once in the 1990s and then in 2019. We do have an override question on the ballot in November for voters to consider. This is to find out from the community what they'd like to see for the future of Melrose. We have been having real challenges in meeting all of our rising costs. And so what that has done is we've had budget cuts, as we talked about. We've laid off, over 40 educators across the schools. We have eliminated 20 positions on the city side, including things like the social services coordinator, the sustainability manager. We've privatized our ambulance service. We have eliminated some positions at the Department of Public Works, which is what does all of your streets and sidewalks and snow shoveling. And we're, really asking the community to tell us what they want to see, because when health insurance costs go up by 10% and our pension obligation is, over 10%, and we see huge costs for transportation for students, and we can only raise the budget by 2.5%, we start to have a real math problem, and that's where we are as a community. So it's a big ask, there's no doubt about it, but it's also really asking the community to kind of decide what they want Melrose to be. So I think people can not like 2.5 as a law, but also decide that they want to support, their own community, which is really what this is. It's putting your property tax dollars. It's only applicable to folks who own a house or a condo in town or a commercial real estate to invest in Melrose. So yeah.
One of the other things is I've noticed all kinds of building, going high-rise kind of building. So there's no limit, huh? I know I used to live in Danvers, and they had a two-level limit. You couldn't go above 2 floors.
There is a limit. We do have a limit. We also have trying to prioritize growth and development along the rail corridor. So to make sure that when new housing is going in, it's in a place that's accessible via the train, where it's very rare to be a community that has 3 commuter rail stops in it, particularly when we're only about 4 square miles. So to really try to leverage that access to public transportation and put housing there so that folks who can't afford a car or don't want a car are able to access Melrose and have such easy access in and out of Boston and anywhere on the MBTA.
Another pet peeve.
I love it. Bring out all the pet peeves.
You probably know what's coming, right?
Maybe. Let's see.
No, well, you said Melrose has 3 trains.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you're kind of handicapped, you can't get on.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. We only have 1 accessible train station, which is, too few. So we definitely need to work with the MBTA around that issue. Absolutely. Yeah, because we want folks regardless of how, you go about the world, to be able to get around Melrose and get in and out of Melrose too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, well, I've stopped driving, and,
Yeah.
I love trains.
Good.
But I've gone down a few times, and once I tried to get on, and I actually got my right foot on, tried to lift myself up. My leg collapsed, and I ended up sitting on the step.
Oh, no.
Fortunately,
yeah, that's not okay.
a friend was able to pull my leg out from under me, and I got off.
Okay.
But I couldn't go where I wanted to go.
Yeah, right. And we want people to go where they want to go.
Yeah.
Do you ever use the bus? Is that better?
I have now found out that I can get a reduced rate for the lift and the ride and those things. And that's working out pretty well. It's not always dependable.
Okay.
The ride in particular, because they have to pick up more people. I mean, I know they have their reasons.
Right, yes.
But when you're standing out there in the cold.
Yeah, right. You're hoping somebody's picking you up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It is much more dependable lately.
Okay, that's good.
So, yeah.
And there's always the Council on Aging van. I know that doesn't go quite the same places as the T, but if you need, there we do take folks to and from medical appointments and within Melrose. So, just to remind listeners. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, a lot of mine is like I have a tossed field. Friends in Danvers, doctors are in Beverly.
Okay. You're going further afield. Yeah. Then the Council on Aging van goes. Got it.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how many people that applies to, but
no, it's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to hit you with the things that affect me.
Sure, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. The other thing is I do live in affordable housing, but what percentage of these new buildings going up are affordable?
So it depends on the development itself, but right now, we have a housing crisis throughout Massachusetts and the region where there is just not enough housing and it is not affordable. I think just last week there was an article in the Globe about how for homeownership for young homeowners, which is like 34 and under, we ranked, I think, fourth from the bottom of all 50 states in terms of affordability. So, if you think about your grandkids, I think about my kids, that's going to be a problem. And then also, not having enough housing for older residents who are ready to downsize or, just need to change, right size their life. So we have state requirements for how much housing we should have, and Melrose has requirements under its zoning code. Until we meet that percentage of affordable housing, we are subject to what's called 40B. I keep quoting state law, which again references the chapter of state law that talks about this. So some developments, if they're a 40B development, they are going to be entirely affordable units, which means below market rate. And those developments we have less ability to say no to because they're going to increase the affordable housing stock. If a developer is just doing a non-40B development, then usually a portion of the development is affordable, but some of the units are market rate. So it kind of there's two different paths that developers can go down, and it varies from building to building.
Okay, I'll switch a little bit and get off of me.
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to say that I haven't brought up?
Well, you've asked great questions. I mean, I think I just want to say we really do want to hear from residents about what matters to them and if they need more information on issues. I think it's really important for people to engage in this election in November. It's a local election. Local elections matter. These are the folks that are making the decisions about all the things we just talked about, sidewalks and housing and schools and where our tax dollars go here at the local level. So we really want people to take the time to get educated, to learn about the options before them with the override. There's a lot of information on the city website, and also to vote and make a voting plan. So Folks can vote in person on Election Day, which is the first Tuesday in November at the middle school. They can come down to City Hall every day. The last week in October, there's going to be early voting. We love to have visitors if you want to early vote. And there's vote by mail, which is, so you can also fill out an application to do a vote by mail and vote from the comfort of your living room. So we just want to make sure folks know what those choices are and that they know where they can get information to help make decisions in November. I think the decision about the override is going to really drive everything about the coming years of the city in terms of who we are, what we want to be, and what we can afford to do for each other. So I think it's really important.
Okay. And the other thing is, if I was sitting at home listening to this, and I might say, oh, I wish you had brought up whatever. How would people go about getting some attention from the city?
Absolutely. So you can email mayor's office, which is all one word, at cityofmelrose.org, and someone will get back to you within 24 hours. You can always call us at City Hall. We usually have someone available to answer the phones, but not always because of some of our budget reductions. And folks can stop in to City Hall, and we can certainly take your information and your inquiry and get back to you. So we definitely want to hear from people, and those are some of the ways that they can get in touch with us.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I think we'll wrap it up now.
Great.
But I really learned a lot myself, and I hope that all you fabulous females out there listening did too. And for all of you, I hope the rest of your day is very wonderful. This is Louise Fennell saying goodbye from MMTV.